get on the bandwagon. I'll burn that wagon down and join the band. Traveling troubadours terrorizing street corners just to try to get some supper in our hands. Now I waited all my life to get this off my chest, scream bloody murder until someone understands that it ain't about the money, the drugs, or the women. I make this noise just because I can.
This is the Furlough Podcast, brought to you by All American Ford in Aniana, Alabama. Stop by and see John Makovica and his team today.
Man, she does it good, doesn't she?
She does.
Man, that's like a damn pro, right?
She could get a damn 1-800 number going on, 1-900 number. Let's go.
Well, everybody, welcome back. Tim is on the show. Tim is one of our original creators of the podcast, and it's been a hot minute since you've been on the show.
It has been a while. Been real busy, and I know y'all been busy.
Well, as you see, we're evolving and ever changing, and we're getting a lot of multifacets of people on, and we had an actress on last week, and that was a lot of fun. And British girl, she had a lot of fun with us, but it's just great to have you back on.
Well, the little ghost biker gal, I enjoyed listening to her the first time she was on here.
Yeah.
I know y'all had her on, and she went and did a little reading over at the bar.
Yeah.
I was talking to Amber today about that. That was pretty good.
Boy,
pretty
woo,
good.
son, you ain't sound.
I heard it was pretty intense.
It was an eye-opening experience for me.
I've always believed in that.
Mm-hmm.
Not always. I don't know if I've ever told you a story, but I had a situation when I was probably about 27, 28 years old, and then a few after that,
Mm-hmm.
and I have since become a believer,
Right.
And so I'm interested in that stuff.
Oh man. Well, like Dave and I was talking about, God, we talk about this chick a lot, but it's whether you believe or disbelieve or whatever, if something happens in front of you and you the man or woman standing there watching it, all you can say is it just damn happened in front of you.
If they turn water into wine, brother, you got to drink it.
That's right.
I mean, hey, that's just the way it is.
That is the way it is. But no, it's a great time, man. You need to. We really need to get you together with her. I think you'd have a blast.
I would love to talk to her, and she seems like she's got a great personality.
Oh,
Just
good
what
head
I've
on her
seen.
shoulders.
Yeah.
I mean, just easy to talk to. And her friend Chris, who does the Soul Sisters Paranormal, is highly intelligent, and they're just a great group.
That's great.
That's great.
Yeah, I was. Dave was telling me about the paranormal stuff in the bar.
Yeah.
And and I'm gonna tell you, the first time I went to that bar, it wouldn't surprise me to know that, because that building is so old.
Oh.
And people think if they believe in ghosts, they think people have to die there for them to be there, and that's not the way it works.
Yeah, that's not the way I see it.
No, it's not. They
You just have to have a connection to something.
Yeah, and I wasn't surprised when I heard that.
Yeah.
Said it was a couple of women, wasn't it? 2 or 3 women.
Well, it was a male and a female is what they got, but they couldn't tell if the female was one female or 2 females because it was 2 different parts of the building.
Oh, okay, but they did get a guy too.
Yeah.
Do they know any of these
kinda
people's names?
Yeah, they think they know who the guy is, and because nothing triggered until Amber had given sort of like a cheat sheet of what this person liked and didn't like and different things of that nature. And so what happened is it was real dead for an hour, no activity. And then once I started giving Miranda some cheat sheet notes and she started doing that, that's when weird crap started happening.
Really?
Yeah, it was
So
wild.
is it a guy that used to be there?
Yeah,
Regular?
regular.
Oh wow! How long's he been gone?
Not long. I would probably be telling a lie, but I'm going to say, let's estimate a plus or minus 5 years.
Oh wow! Well, hey, you got to
Yeah.
have somewhere to hang out, man. If
Yeah.
that was his place, that's his place.
Well, I guess that's why Alabama does so good, because Bear Bryant won't leave. That's what the true fans will say to
Well,
you.
and here's what's so funny. I got a bunch of buddies of mine. I said, well, I guess Saban's made them forget about the Bear.
Yeah.
But all you got to do is go to Tuscaloosa, and his name's on everything, brother.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You can't walk one block and not see his name on something.
It's going to be weird. And now that it's football season, it's fun to talk about. Is like nobody can discredit what Saban's done. He
No.
has done a fantastic, unbelievable job, and almost to the point in my lifetime, just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous.
And he's almost made it hard on himself
Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean,
because he's climbed the mountain, and once you get on top, you can't go any higher.
why? But Jesus, man, I mean, he just doesn't seem like he's done.
Well, I know it doesn't seem that way, but I don't know if people are catching up to him. We've got a lot of holes this year. Our defense is not well.
Okay.
It's not well. It's not on life support, but it's not well. If you watch the game, I don't know if it's the defensive coordinator is not getting the calls in quick enough, but the linebackers seem to be very not comfortable, and they're looking around. And when the ball snapped, they're looking over here at the safeties because they got to make calls with the safeties depending on the formation.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not getting the calls in quick enough, and they're very confused looking, and they're not covering the outside. You know, Saban's team is always, if you watched any games when they played LSU in the championship or any of the championship game, they've always been able to cover the perimeter and force the play back inside, and they can't do that now.
Mm-hmm.
The flats is wide open, and people are running crazy on us, and they're getting 8 and 10 yards down the sideline, and it's not good. And for me, being a football guy, I just want to bite my fingers off. It kills me. I just can't take it. And but the offense is good. You know, Tua's he's got some glitches, but he's all right. You know,
Yeah.
He'll be first round, probably first quarterback taken. But he's got some things wrong with him too. His
Right.
game, his delivery's kind of funny, and he bites on the safety a lot. You know, a lot of people now are tricking him.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember the Georgia game, he threw over the top, got that touchdown, won the championship game because he's looking off the safety. And when I say that, people watching it don't know much about football. You got a guy playing the center of the field, and you got a guy covering on the end. So when he goes down, you got one-on-one coverage. But the safety floats over the top, and he becomes then double coverage.
Double coverage, yeah.
So what Tua was doing is he was looking off the safety. And when you say that, like I'm looking over here, and I'm trying to get that safety to turn his hips.
Yeah.
If he can turn his hips and put his back to the receiver, I've got him.
Got him, yeah.
Then I can throw over. Well, now they're telling their safeties, when you see him drop back and he looks, turn your back, run to the middle of the field, then turn around and run back to that guy, and he's biting on it.
They're
setting him up.
Setting him up, yeah.
Setting him up. He thinks he's got it.
Yeah. Well, it's like anything, you know, if you watch enough game tape on anybody, you start learning their ways.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And now what, he's 3 years in Alabama?
Tua, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
he
so,
is.
so
And,
that's a lot of, and he's got a lot of play time, so now you
He
got
does.
a lot of tape.
And you know, and it's this, and one thing that and I'm one of these that everybody says, well, Saban's much better than Bryant, and here's why I don't think he is.
All right,
he's
throw it
he's
at
as good,
Yeah.
and he in some ways may be better.
Mhm.
He's a better recruiter, but recruiting's different now. You know, you used to have to get on, you know, in
Get
your
in the
car,
car
and
and
go
take
see 'em,
off, yeah.
or a plane and see them, and you can FaceTime people now. You know,
Yeah.
Bryant didn't have it. But Bryant's championship games, you know, if you look at college football, the hotbed of football is California, Texas, Florida, Georgia, Alabama. That's your 3 major states. People will argue about Alabama. There might be some states as good or better.
Mhm.
But that's your 5 hotbed that you recruit out of. And it was that way when Bryant was coaching. Same thing.
Mhm.
California, Texas, always hot. Florida, got a lot of players out of Florida. Georgia's always been good. So has Alabama. 85% of Bryant's players was from the state of Alabama.
Yeah, because it was an easy run for him to drive around.
Well, and he wanted to get his hometown boys, you know.
Hmm.
And we don't have very many of them. Auburn gets more than we get.
Hmm.
And Georgia gets more than we get. And a lot of states around us.
Speaking of Auburn, man, what do you think about that Bo Nix kid?
He's a really good player. He's a freshman.
Yeah,
He's looked like a freshman. But
Yeah.
that's okay.
Oh man, but he's
He's going to be a great quarterback.
I see a lot of potential in
Yeah.
him, you know, and his dad's a great coach, and his dad, you know, he's right
Oh,
up here in Pinson, and stuff like
absolutely.
that. And so, I mean, I think, man, that kid's got a future.
And got a brother coming up that's
Yeah.
pretty good too. And,
Yeah, so
he's a great quarterback. His biggest problem is Malzahn.
Hmm.
And when I say that, Malzahn, you know, you'll hear people say Malzahn's got a great offense, it's a spread, and but he's very predictable.
Malzahn,
Yeah, he'll run the same play on 3rd down. You know, he'll pass on 1st down. He likes to run the ball on 2nd down. He's very predictable. And he doesn't get away from. And when he gets away from that, he gets nervous, and because he sweats it a lot. You know, and I don't think he trusts Nix, especially now, because Nix throwed some interceptions. You know, but he doesn't throw the deep ball very well. But head full of sense. Got a head full of sense. And his daddy was a good quarterback. He's a good quarterback. And he's going to be a great quarterback. And he'll play in the NFL. His daddy never played in the NFL.
Right. He went from college to coaching, right?
Yeah, went into coaching.
Yeah.
And now he was a great coach, offensive coordinator for Georgia Tech. And he's coached some really good teams, you know. And his daddy's a great coach. I'll go ahead and say, at high school level, he's a great coach.
Right.
But he's been to every quarterback camp in the world since he was 5 years old. So he knows the position.
He knows the game
better than anybody.
Yeah.
And sometimes, if you know the game, you can see it happen before it happens. You know, and I tell when my son was playing, if you watch a football game this weekend, I don't know how much you watch, but if you watch a football game, if you focus on the line of scrimmage, don't look at the quarterback, don't look at the receivers or the running back, what they're going to watch the line of scrimmage for 2 to 3 seconds, but when the game starts. And whatever side of the scrimmage line wins the battle, they're going to win the play. If the offensive line wins, it's either going to be a really good pass or a really good run for the offense. And if the defensive line wins, then they're not going to gain any yardage on the run, and they're probably going to get a sack or something like that. But it happens every time. It's over 90% of the time.
Right.
And when you hear coaches say, you got to win the line of scrimmage and you got to eliminate mistakes. Well, the mistakes are when we throw you the damn ball, try to catch it.
Yeah.
If we got good coverage, we got a good pocket, we got a quarterback clean, he can throw the ball, then you've got to damn catch it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was telling you about, and you had a different opinion though, but that was what I was telling you about when Jalen Hurts is running backs and receivers this year. Man, they're making him look great. And I'm not saying that he's not great, but man, I was watching the game of the day, and those guys were snatching the ball out of the air that, you know, some guys may not have snatched out, you know, little on the outside edge, you know, just kind of sucking it back in.
He's not very accurate.
And running the edge of that line, man, they were running right down the sideline.
People get caught up in the flash. You know, people get little shiny stuff, they get caught up in it. And he's got a great story. It's kind of like, I was talking to a buddy of mine the other night. We talk football every time we talk. And I said, he's like that American Idol contestant that just fought brain cancer.
Yeah.
And he can't sing worth a damn. but we love him because he's got brain cancer. Let's give him the damn win. We'll let him win. He can't toe the damn tune, but he's going to win because his family suffered and he suffered. And
do you think he suffered though?
Who?
Tua.
Yeah,
not Tua, but Jalen. Sorry.
He's not suffering.
Yeah.
He went through Alabama with as much class as you could do it with.
Yeah.
He showed nothing but class when he was there, and I think the world of him. I think he's a great person. But to give him the Heisman Trophy would be a shame.
Right. Do you think he's in the running?
Oh, hell, they say he's number one.
Really?
They say if he give it out today, he'd get it.
No shit.
Yeah, because people like Holly Rowe, and I think a lot of Holly Rowe, she does a great job. She's fought cancer. And
is that the announcer?
She's a woman. She does sideline.
Yeah,
she's a sideline lady. So, and she's very good at what she does. And I've always liked her. But she said, well, if I had a vote, I'd vote for him today. Well, you're an idiot, okay? Because you don't know a damn thing about football because he can't throw the ball very well.
Right.
And he can run it. He can run over these people. He's playing in a league that plays touch football. They don't know a damn thing. They probably couldn't spell defense, let alone play it. And he knows that he's went from college to junior high school.
And so he's
a man among man among boys. I mean, they can't keep up with it.
Right. Well, yeah, I was noticing the one play, and I can't remember which it was. Was it this last week's game? But you know, two guys made it through the line, and they were basically trying to drag him down like hyenas. They had the ball, and he had the double hands behind his back. He was holding the tips of the ball and was able to hang on to it and pull it out, and then still get the ball out.
He squats 600 pounds.
Holy shit! I didn't know that.
I can't do that with a jack. I mean, what the hell? I mean, 600 pounds.
I didn't realize he squats it.
Oh yeah, he's amazing. He was a
He
power
doesn't-
lifter,
He doesn't look like it though. You look him in the face.
but he's built like a tree trunk. That
Yeah.
son of a bitch, you couldn't knock him down with a 2x4. I mean, he's strong, and he's playing with boys
Right.
that are not
They did.
equipped to play with him.
What do you think? I think we had this conversation last year. It's weird. It's weird in the sense of you watch your power SEC teams and they're size teams.
Yeah.
Then you got your your Pac-10 or whatever. They're the slender guys that run and do
Yeah.
all that good stuff. And then your Southern California guys, they get some big guys, but they're not like the big
No.
brutes.
The SEC is a line of scrimmage league, and it has been ever since I've been on this planet, since the 50s and 60s. It's a line of scrimmage league. Other leagues are not like that. You got big old boys up there, and they play good defense, and they play good offense, and they're a line of scrimmage league, and you can't play that finesse shit here
Right.
because you'll get killed doing it here.
Right. You get run over.
And he's played in this league. And my argument is, and I love Jalen Hurts. I have nothing bad to say about him, but here's why you can't give him the Heisman Trophy.
Okay.
He left Alabama. You're trying to tell me and convince me that he's the number one player in America. Okay? That's what they give the trophy for.
That's what they're supposed to do.
Best player in America. He's the best quarterback that we see. There's 3 teams in the SEC. If he was there right now, he could not start. We know he couldn't start at Alabama. That's why he left.
Correct.
He would not start at LSU, and he would not start at Auburn. And probably 4. He wouldn't start in Georgia.
Yeah, I'd be shocked.
So you're telling me he's the best son of a bitch you've ever seen, and he can't start at 4 SEC schools? And you going to give that son of a bitch a trophy?
That's a solid argument.
I mean, I don't know, and I don't mean to call him a son of a bitch. He's a good kid. His
Yeah.
mama's probably not a bitch, but he's just not worthy of that trophy. Now, MVP of his league, absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. He's best player in that league. He's best player that league's seen in a long time. It was a joke to give that Heisman Trophy to the 2 last people they give it to out of Oklahoma. Is a damn joke, because neither one of them guys could have started in the SEC over the best that we had. Couldn't have done it.
Yeah.
It's a damn joke. They get caught up on numbers. Jalen Hurts got all these passing numbers. He throws the ball to a back out of the backfield for me and you. That sucker goes 60 yards. He gets credit for 60 yards.
Right.
That's horse shit. That's not the way they should. That's the way they keep it, but that's not the way they should keep it.
Right. You can't call it passing yards when you only threw it 5.
Because if you look at his average, anything that he's thrown over 15 yards, he's not even 50%. He's got a terrible average. It's under 50%. So you got to look at that. And if you're going to vote, if you vote for him, they'll take your damn vote away. He does not deserve to make the trip to. Now he's done. It's a great story. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And he's overcome adversity, and that's what they teach these young kids when they're in football. But you cannot give him the trophy because he's got cancer.
Do you think Cam Newton deserved it when he was in?
I do, if he's not shadowed by that controversy.
Yeah, okay. Take the controversy
If
away.
you take the controversy away, he's the best player in the country, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I'd tell you that. Great athlete,
He's
run over your ass. Couldn't throw the ball well.
Yeah.
But he throws it a whole lot better than Jalen can throw it right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
But yeah, absolutely, he deserved it. Nobody else did. But you throw that controversy on top,
Yeah, it's
I wouldn't
tough.
have given it to him.
Yeah, it's tough going on. So.
Oh, yes, I mean, but he was the best player in the country
Yeah.
that year. I'll say that every time. But yeah, that's my opinion. I'm not trying to throw your show under a bus here. I don't want you to get sued or nothing.
No, that's your opinion. I understand.
But it's a shame that the big thing now is these kids. We don't have enough players here on Alabama's team that know anything about the Iron Bowl.
right.
They're told by coaches, look, this is a very important game and you got to win this game. Well, they don't know anything about it. And they don't know anything about the Tennessee game. Now, when I was a kid, the Tennessee game was bigger than the Auburn game.
Well, I was going to ask you, you think Tennessee's gotten irrelevant? The Tennessee game?
It has, because you need to beat people back and forth. See, the reason the Auburn game is still the big game, they do beat Alabama occasionally.
Yeah.
Since Saban's been there, they beat him 3 times out of 13 years. That's not a lot, but they space it out to where it looks like a lot.
Right.
You know,
Well, they're always in. They always have a contention. They always
Oh,
have
yeah.
a chance.
and it's always a game.
Yeah.
You know, there's been some blowouts. I mean, he's beat the, you know, he beat Tommy Tuberville 36-0. They fired Tuberville. He beat Chiswick 49-0. They fired Chiswick. And when he beats Malzahn that bad, they'll get rid of him too. I mean, and when they beat Alabama, of course they still win. 1 point is good as 100.
Oh yeah.
So it doesn't matter how bad you beat them, but they just barely beat them. You know, the
Right.
kick six, fluke play,
Yeah.
the comeback or whatever they call it, right there at the fourth quarter. You know, right there at the end. They barely beat them.
Mhm.
They've never dominated them
Right.
and beat them by 40 points.
Right.
You know, and I don't guess you have to though. You know, as long as you can beat them by one, one's good as 100.
Well, that's what I'm saying. In racing, it's a bumper a win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's
you still
right.
get the money.
You still get the money. And they won't say, well, you didn't beat him bad, so we're not going to give him half the money.
Yeah.
But the Tennessee game, now I grew up, the Tennessee game was bigger than Auburn because back then, whoever won that game probably was going to win the SEC because that's before they divided it in '92 and they put an East and a West on
Why
it.
did they do that?
Because the only way you can have a championship game, and they were plotting to have the SEC championship game, you got to break it down in divisions.
Right. That makes sense.
Or you can't have the championship game. So that's why they've done it. And you have to have 12 teams.
It was a money move.
It's a money move.
Yeah.
You have to have 12 teams. You can't have 10. But you still have the Big Ten that now has 12 teams,
Mhm.
and the Big 12 that has 10. And they
That's-
still
that is weird.
do a championship game. You know,
Yeah.
so I don't guess that matters anymore. But that's how it started out. But the Tennessee game was the big game.
Mhm.
You know, Alabama, Bryant wanted to beat Tennessee worse than anything, and Tennessee wanted to beat him. And it used to be big, but now Florida and Tennessee's bigger than
Yeah.
Alabama and Auburn, and really Alabama and LSU's gotten big.
They have LSU. Well, you think that's because of Saban?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he used
Absolutely.
to work there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's so that draws the attention.
Resentment. It's
Yeah, the resentment.
Because he had and it's funny how if you resent somebody, you can turn words around and make things. Because my buddy even got caught up in it. He's a big LSU fan, and they interviewed Saban, and Saban said one of the biggest mistakes he ever made was leaving LSU for Miami. Okay,
Yeah.
and he did say that.
Yeah.
But listen to how he said it. The biggest mistake I ever made was leaving LSU for Miami. So his biggest mistake was going to Miami.
Yeah.
But they take it, he regrets leaving LSU, screw Alabama, he wishes he was back at LSU, and that
Yeah.
ain't what he
That
meant.
ain't what he said.
No,
Yeah,
because
he-
if you went to him tomorrow and doubled his salary, he'd tell them to go to hell, and he'd stay at Alabama.
For sure. Yeah, because man, he's treated like a king.
Oh,
down there.
he's built it up. I mean, I heard Greg McElroy say this, and he it's probably as close as you can get to saying it. He said he believes Saban is better than Bryant, but Bryant is bigger than Saban. And I think that's a good way of saying it.
Yeah.
'Cause
it
the
makes
aura
sense.
of Bear Bryant's never going away.
Yeah. Well, not for another X amount of time. Maybe when few people die off and
Well,
stuff
they'll
like
have
that.
to burn all the buildings and signs down there with his damn name on it because
Well,
he's everywhere.
Well, they'll rip a sign down though. That's the thing. It just depends on who's in charge. You know.
Well, you know, and today I listen to Jocks all the time, and they were talking about favorite Alabama memories, and they had a guy call in, and he said that Alabama had beat Tennessee back in the late '60s, early '70s, and they had Scott Hunter was the quarterback at Tennessee at Alabama, and Alabama actually won this game, but Scott Hunter threw 8 interceptions in that one game,
Dang.
and that's unheard of to win that game.
Mhm.
And the guy said that one of the receivers went to the huddle after he threw that 8th interception. He said, "Look, Scott, throw them the damn ball and I'll intercept it." He said, "Let's try that.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
other shit ain't working."
Yeah. That
So-
is pretty funny though. But what do you? Who's playing? Who are they playing tomorrow?
Alabama, Tennessee's playing.
Okay, they are playing
8 o'clock at night. Auburn is playing Arkansas.
8:00 at night.
8:05, I think. Well, let me tell you why that is.
Central or Eastern?
Our time.
Okay.
Yeah,
golly.
Central. Now, here's why that is. We were playing all these summer games, and they were putting Alabama at 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock. It's hot as hell. You know how it is.
Yeah, it was 100 and something James
So-
Spann said that they registered 119 degrees on the
on
field.
the field. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
hot.
That's
and then you
hot.
got pads on and
Yeah.
a helmet.
Yeah.
I mean,
In a bowl with no wind.
right. So it's really, really hot. So Saban gets to bitching about we're not getting any night games, and he didn't think it was fair. So it went on, and we're going to give you a night game. Hell, it's 30 degrees now.
Yeah, now
So now it doesn't matter. And not only we're going to give you a night game, we're going to make that son of a bitch late,
yeah,
where your players will get
good and cold.
Yeah, and they won't be ready for it by the time they'll be ready to take a damn nap by the time it gets that time. And then next week we're playing at 6:00.
Damn.
So he's
Be
run
careful.
he's run his mouth,
Yeah,
and now they're gonna shove it down his damn throat.
yeah,
And that's the TV guys. But you have to play with them because they got the contract,
right.
and you can't play when you want to play. You have to play when they say play.
Yeah.
So
Well, there was a guy talking about that too. He said he didn't like going to he didn't like to go to the games anymore because of all the commercial intermissions and stuff like that. He goes, they basically stopped the games,
Oh yeah, you see
Yeah.
the old red hat guy come out. He's a referee with a red hat. He walks out on the field, and everybody's going, "What's he doing? What the hell's he doing?" He's
Yeah.
standing out there 20 minutes. Damn TV's running.
Yeah,
They're doing commercials, and when you see him walk off the field, we're back live again.
yeah. And people say that that's unfair in the sense that it's almost like watching a boxing match
And stopping it in the
it's-
middle of the
stop
damn
it
round.
Yeah, stop it in the middle of the damn round and give
He
you a
needs a
chance.
drink of water.
Yeah, or because they're going to run a commercial and
Yeah.
now your two fighters get a chance to, well, whichever one was taking the beating.
And
Guess-
boxing, well, and boxing is not near as big as baseball or basketball or football, but boxing will just tell you, here's the way it's going to work. We got that bell set up, and that son of a bitch is going to ring after 3 minutes, and it's going to ring again in 1 minute, and if you ain't back here, you miss it.
Right.
And that's the way it is.
But football's not like that. That's
No,
what I'm
it's not
saying.
like it.
It's and that's the unfair. That was my way of comparing the two is if you got a team that's taking a beating,
Oh, yeah.
and then the commercial comes up. Well, now you saved the timeout, you saved this, you saved that, and
Oh, absolutely.
and everybody's
Everybody loves the TV timeout
yeah,
because the regular timeout's 30 seconds or 45 seconds, and that damn thing's a minute and a half, 2
Yeah.
minutes. So
It gives
everybody loves that.
yeah, everybody gets a chance. So you think that's changed the outcomes of some games?
I don't. Yeah, and I don't like the way football's changed. I don't like the fact that Alabama's running the spread. I think that's ruined football. I don't give a damn about watching a game that's 59 to 55. I don't care nothing about that.
Mhm.
I want to see it 14 to 17, 21 to 17. I don't want that scoring all the damn time.
Well, it's like a basketball score.
I don't like it. I
Yeah.
don't like it. And I like the way, and it takes away from a lot of the game planning. Well,
Mhm.
and it makes you soft. If you run the football, you're a hard-nosed football team. You're getting punched in the mouth every play. You're going to be a hard-nosed team.
Mhm.
If you run that spread, you're not getting hit as much, and you're going to become soft. And now you see players out there, and they'll make a damn 30-yard run. They're tapping their damn helmet. They want to come out. Oh shit! I got to have a breather.
Yeah.
Now when I played, it wasn't like that.
Right.
If you got hurt, you were going to be called a sissy tomorrow if they had to come out there and get you. You better get your ass up and get
Right.
off the field. If you got to drag your ass off the field, you drag your ass off the field.
Well, I've noticed a lot more cramps than I used to see. Like guys laying down, holding
Yeah.
the back of their leg, and they're just
I think it's diet. I know they try to feed them right in all those facilities. They feed them a lot of food. They got nutritionists, and they try to do that right. But after practice, those players are not. It's not mandatory that they go back and eat dinner there.
mhm.
If they want to go home and eat a pizza, they can go home and eat a pizza. And
Right.
I don't think they're doing their part.
Right.
Because those nutritionists, if they lay it out and say, hey, this is what you need to be eating, and it's not going to school. When we were in school, you didn't want to eat the same old shit every day.
Yeah.
If they're not serving pizza in here,
Hot
I
wings,
want pizza.
something, yeah.
I'm going to go get that. And they're not eating right.
Well, spinning it a different way is what do you think about this California pay to play the players?
Well, they think they've got something, but they don't have anything because what's going to happen is and it's for paying a player for his likeness. Like if I go out there and I'm a great quarterback and I want to sell my jersey and make money on it, so you're not paying the player, but he can sell merchandise and make money.
Right.
That's what it is. Well, what's going to happen with that? They're not going to pass that statewide or countrywide. They're not going to do it. So what they'll do is they'll say, well, y'all teams out here, if you want to do that, y'all not going to play in this damn championship game we got every year. You're not going to be, because your players are breaking a law that we have on the books. So if you want to do it, NCAA says you can't do it, so you're not playing in our damn ball game.
Well, somebody was saying that the NCAA is basically like a strong arm union. They're taking all the money and just slave laboring everybody else.
That's what, and they're talking about breaking that up and talking about appointing a commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
And they've even approached Saban. Said, "Would you be?" And he'd be a hell of a commissioner.
Oh, really?
Because he'd tell you what to do, and you do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they appointing a commissioner kind of like the NFL and running it like that as a group. You know, everybody meets, the owners meet, so the coaches and presidents would meet, and they would come up with a rule book, and we're going to follow this rule book.
Well, do you think it's unfair? You know, they talk about it's unfair that, you know, these colleges are making shit tons of money off these kids, right? And so they're making all this money, and my thought was this. I'll run this by you and see what you think. Instead of trying to let the kids make money themselves or something like that, they say it's not fair to pay a student, whatever. How about let's dial back the cost of this shit? It shouldn't cost $200 to get a ticket to go to a damn college football game. Let's dial back these, you know, what they're trying to make, you know.
They're never going to do that.
I know they're never, because it's a money game.
It's about the money.
It's about the money. But, you know, they're spinning it around the kids, and it's almost like the shell game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's focus over here, the right and wrong over here, but we're really not paying attention that these guys are making a shit tons of money, the colleges, off the backs of these kids. If they weren't allowed, and I know they're private organizations, so you can't really do that. But if there was a way to limit, you know, the cost of tickets, the cost of this, the cost of that, you know, because it's a money grab. Everything costs money. You know, hell, it would cost. What would it cost you if you didn't have season tickets and you and your wife wanted to just at the last minute go to an Alabama LSU game?
Oh,
if you thought you could get in.
LSU game. I mean, it costs you $600 a ticket.
Yeah. And then parking, and then this, and that, and so you
drop $2,000 or even more.
Right. So the point is instead of focusing on the kids, let's focus on the price gouging and all the money they're making.
Here's where the price gouging is, and I'm for it. I don't like paying that price either. But if you ever, and I'm sure you hadn't been there, but you've seen pictures. When you see pictures of these weight rooms and these,
yes, that's what I'm saying,
and all this nice shit, that's where that comes from.
Oh, I know.
So if you do that, then you're gonna have your kids in a damn high school gym and a damn locker.
Well, I'm not saying cut it out.
Floor.
I'm not saying cut it out. I'm saying let's dial it back.
Well, good example. My wife graduated at Eastern Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sponsoring them tonight.
There you go.
They, a few years ago, till they hired this new coach they got, they had to call the alumni and raise $60,000 just to put tile in their damn shower, because the kids were getting their feet cut on them damn broken tile shower, you know, the little tiles, and they had to redo that locker room.
Right.
That's why, and they sell tickets over there. You can get season tickets probably for $100,
right,
$5 a ticket. Well. And it's because they don't have the money Alabama has. They don't have the facilities.
Sure.
So you can't be mad at these universities for making that kind of money, and it's supply and demand.
Right.
If they want to charge me $800 for a ticket, if I'm dumb enough to buy the damn thing, then hey, charge that much money, you know?
Right.
And that's why they've got some of the top facilities in the country, because they're making money.
Yeah.
These little schools like that, they don't have that money.
Well, I understand that. I'm just saying, do you think that there's a possibility of capping, you know, you got to figure out, you know, not a balance, because you can't balance. It's all private organizations, but there's this, you know, if the NCAA can control how your players pay, how you can recruit, all these rules, you know, and it should not be all about rules, but shouldn't there be a point where it's like, Jesus Christ, man, y'all are building your GDP is more than most small countries.
The one reason ticket prices are high, and you're never going to stop it, is because of scalpers. Because they know scalpers are going to, if they sold all them tickets for $20, every ticket in Bryant did $20, and you get a big game, them
Mhm.
scalpers going to jack them damn tickets up, $1,000 ticket. Now they're making the damn money.
Yeah, that makes
Now,
sense.
why do I not just make it up front?
Yeah,
And now I put the damn squeeze on their ass. They can't jack it up that high. They're
Yeah,
not
'cause-
going to make the percentage
so it
because
cuts
we're
down.
going to get it up front.
That I didn't think about that. That's a great. That's an absolute great.
And you can't stop them scalpers. It's just like drugs. It's like illegal alcohol. You cannot stop it.
Yeah,
So well, you know what you do? You jack the damn price up.
yeah. If somebody's gonna make the money, you make the money.
Right.
Yeah, that's
'Cause-
the best analogy I've
Because
seen.
if I know what you make, what your level is, what you could spend, your
Mhm.
exposable income, I'm gonna get to the top of that son of a bitch, and I'm gonna get all you got.
Yeah,
Because that scalper's gonna try to get a little above that, and he might,
yeah,
but he won't get much above it.
yeah. He's not gonna be able to double it.
Right. It's just like if I was selling gas for $2 and you want to come in there and sell it for $5, and them dumb son of a bitches are buying it, well, sell it for $5.
Yeah, that's
You see, I mean, you got to get what you can get out of it.
yeah, that's true.
I don't have a problem with what universities make because I see how they feed these kids. If you've seen the grocery bill for these damn kids,
Mhm.
oh my God, it's more than all of us make a damn year.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And you got to feed them. You got to put uniforms on them.
Mhm.
Every one of them uniforms probably cost them $800, $900 a uniform. Every team in the SEC dresses out 100 people. Hell, do the math.
Yeah. Do you think Nick Saban's worth what is he, $3 million a year?
I think he's underpaid.
You think it's under?
Absolutely, because he's making that university a shit ton of money, and he ain't getting 10% of it.
Mhm.
He's underpaid.
Damn. That's a good.
Absolutely.
Who do you think's overpaid?
Any of the coaches? None of them.
None of them.
I think they're still that little coach they got makes $12 an hour. I'm kidding, but he don't get. I bet he don't make $1 million.
Yeah.
I bet he makes $600,000, $800,000 a year, and that's bullshit. But they got 36 people coming to the game tomorrow.
Right.
They can't sell the tickets
Right.
and they're in a bad shape because they're in Michigan. And who are you going to go see in Michigan? Michigan.
Yeah.
Or Michigan State. These little teams don't have a chance. UAB, good
Yeah.
example. Their crowds have went up,
Mhm.
but they don't sell what Auburn, Alabama sell.
Do you think? I'm glad you mentioned that because that sparked a thought. The new. Do you think the new field that they're building next in Birmingham? Do you think that's going to track back to the Iron Bowl type situation, or do you think they're making too much money in their own
It
fields?
can't because it only going to hold 45,000 people,
Oh, okay. How much is the Bryant Denny count?
102,000.
Okay.
And Jordan Harris like a 90,000.
Okay.
89, 90,000. So you take a pay cut if you
Yeah.
did that. You'd have to sell the tickets for $4,000 or $5,000 a piece
Yeah.
to make any money. So no, they'll never get it back. Birmingham won't ever get it back
It's over.
unless they build 100,000 seat stadium, and then UAB's going to play there, and it's going to look like 12 people's there. So you don't want that. The best thing they can do in that situation, and I hope they do it, because Alabama and Auburn don't do it, and they need to do it to make the money. It's going to be a 45,000 seat stadium, and they'll half fill it up. There'll be 26, 28,000 people there. Sell beer at that son of a bitch. Nobody else does it. And you can do it.
I wonder if they are.
I don't know. They need to.
Yeah.
Whoever's
That's a
on the
good
board
question.
there,
That's a good
because LSU started doing it, and they said last weekend they call it units, so I guess it's cups of beer. You figure it's $8 a damn cup of beer.
Yeah.
They sold 59,000 cups of beer. Add that up.
Yeah.
Because last week, they started it last week. The week before that, you wasn't selling it. Look at that money you made.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. You're leaving money on the table if you don't do it.
Yeah.
Alabama and Auburn may eventually do it. You might as well. You go to an Alabama game and you can smell whiskey in the damn air. And
Oh,
some
yeah.
bitch next to you is drinking damn gin or something.
Yeah.
I mean, so you might as well sell it and make the money and cut out people toting it in. Hell,
Yeah.
me and her's toted it in before.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody there, you can smell it
Yeah.
if you're in the stands. So you might as well make that money because you're not going to stop it. So you might as well make the money. I mean, they're drinking outside the stadium. They're going to get drunk and come in
Oh,
there
yeah.
anyway. So if he's going to get in a fist fight, the some bitch is already drunk.
Sure.
So you're not getting him drunk. And at $8 or $9 a damn cup, he ain't going to get too damn drunk because he done spent all his money on a damn ticket.
Right.
So, I mean, you think about it.
He'll
I
be
mean,
pre-gaming a little bit, but yeah.
you know, and so I think UAB does that, and they're going to attract people. They're going to attract those people on the fence, people that live in Birmingham that like Alabama and they like Auburn, but they live in Birmingham. Hey,
Yeah,
let's go out here because we can drink a beer out here.
Yeah, we can watch a good game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think they're really shooting themselves in the foot if they don't sell beer.
Yeah,
because it's going to be a beautiful stadium, and the bowl game's going to pick up. They sell beer to bowl game.
yeah.
I mean, and see the reason they can get away with it, and now they passed a law they could have got away with it anyway. That's not on campus. It's on the north side of town. Their campus is on the south side of town.
Yeah.
For years, that was the thing. You couldn't do it. Now they passed a law. Now you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
LSU's doing it, and Alabama and Auburn will do it because the people that run that show is going to start looking at how much money they're making, and they're going to go, son of a bitch, we're missing the boat.
Or what they're leaving out. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think you do it.
All right. So what's your prediction on national championship this year?
Whew. I think the best team in the country playing right now is probably
If it was today, and let's take the wins and losses out of it. If you were going to pick two teams to go to the national championship next week, who would you pick? I put him on the spot.
Well, would I pick or would the country pick? Because that's
I don't know what you pick.
Ohio State would probably be the first one.
Okay.
I don't think Clemson is what they were last year. I don't like Alabama's defense. Georgia, I don't think.
That's open-minded.
That's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard, though, because and if you put Oklahoma in it, they get skull drugged by Ohio State. So that would not be a good game. Right now, it's hard to say right now.
Okay. We got what, month left to square it up.
You get to Thanksgiving, I could tell you.
Yeah.
But right now, because there's so many teams playing poorly that you don't have anybody. Right now, Ohio State's if you watch them defensively and offensively, kicking game, they probably got the best game right now. But they don't play no damn body. So you're liable to throw them out there against an Alabama, and they might get beat by 30 points because you don't know what you got because they don't play no damn body. But right now they're playing the best. Wisconsin is playing really good.
Yeah, Wisconsin. Somebody else was talking about
good.
them. Yeah, but they're not a big powerhouse team as far as size go. They're just fast.
But they are on the front. They got them old cheese eating boys on the front.
Yeah,
and they're all white. And every damn one of them is going to be in the NFL. Every damn one of them.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely. Every one of them. And probably go in the second or third round. Every damn one of them. Yeah, because if you watch the NFL, a lot of your northern teams has got heavier guys because of their diets, you know.
Yeah.
They play in the NFL because they're so damn big. And them Wisconsin boys are big as hell.
Yeah. I don't know. Their running guys look so tiny. Maybe it's because their other guys look so big.
Well, they got a running back this year, and he's real shifty. He's kind of like a little scat back, but he's a power back too. He can get you that 2 or 3 yards, off tackle if you got to have it, and then he can run outside and outrun you too. So they're really good right now. But it's got to play out, and I don't think anybody. I thought Oregon was going to be okay, but Auburn got in there and pretty much bitch slapped them around. And Auburn's got probably the best defensive front in the country. But now a couple injuries here and there.
It changes.
Yeah. Because they don't have a lot of depth. They don't have people they can plug in and you won't miss them.
Right. You don't. Yeah.
So if you lose them, there's holes there. So they won't, but right now they're really good. Their offensive line's not very good, and that's why that quarterback's struggling. But he's starting now. He ain't seen the defenses yet. See, now this is the thing. You got the defensive coordinator down there at LSU is one of the best in the business. He's going to confuse him. The guy at Florida did confuse him. He's one of the best too, and he really had his head screwed up. Alabama's got a good defense. Georgia's got a good defense. So he's fixing to get into the meat of the schedule where the defenses are really intelligent. And they'll disguise shit, and he won't see things,
And they've had a chance to watch him on the front end of the...
Yeah, because he's been getting picked off by safeties a lot. He don't see the safety. And even a lot of teams now are dropping because Alabama's went to a lot smaller linebacker. Our linebackers used to be 265, 250, and now we got 225, 215 linebackers because they play like safeties. They can drop them back in coverage and they can get in coverage where you wouldn't expect them to be.
Mm-hmm.
So when you see that lineman walk up there, that center, and he's pointing at the Mike linebacker, the middle linebacker. He's pointing at him because they got to locate him. They got to locate him to see where the strength is, where you got to cross block and where you got to, try to defend that side of the ball. And he's always pointing. You'll see him pointing. That's what he's pointing at. Well, now they drop him back, and you don't know who the Mike linebacker is now. Because now they shift that shit around, and the Mike linebacker, the middle linebacker, might line up over here off right tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not where he's supposed to be, so they're fooling you.
Yeah.
And it gets it, and that's why when they move pieces around like that, you got to see it. If he's the only one there, and he's over here, well, he's the middle linebacker. He's got to be.
Mm-hmm.
So now you got to change the call or something like that. If you ever hear a quarterback go up the line, especially in the pros, because you don't really hear the verbal on offense, and when they do a lot of silent count,
Mm-hmm.
You'll see them clapping their hands. They don't do verbal count because of damn crowds. When they go on the road, they can't hear.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in the pros, you'll hear them go blue 82, and they'll do it 400 times a game. Well, that ain't the play.
Mm-hmm.
They've called 2 plays in the huddle, and when they come up here, if the alignment's not right, if he goes blue 82, we're going with the second play.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it confuses people. And
that's smart, though. That's smart.
so, yeah, I mean, people used to think football players were stupid, dumb jocks.
Yeah.
You heard it. But you really got to be kind of intelligent in that,
It's like chess.
or you can't play it.
Yeah, it's like
chess.
chess.
You got to know where everybody's supposed to be. And I know the game pretty good. I can watch it, and I can tell you, if they're weak over here, or you should go over there. And I'll call play sometimes. She laughs at me because a lot of times I'll hit it right. Not all the time, but a lot of times I'll get it right.
Yeah.
And it's because I know where they're supposed to be.
Right.
And it's
That's
just,
good stuff, man. Good stuff. She's so quiet over there. We have
She is quiet.
we have somebody hiding in the shadows on this game. It's kind of different because we don't usually get many people sitting off to the side. We've had a few, but
well, she'll enjoy it because I've talked a lot tonight, so I'll go home tonight, shut up.
there you go.
She'll enjoy
Will you
that.
get ready for the games tomorrow?
Yeah.
So I don't know if she believes you though.
She likes football a lot. Believe it or not, she's
Well, yeah,
become a big fan.
You got a comfy setup, man.
We do have a good setup. We
Yeah.
like our setup.
Yeah, if you got a comfy setup, it makes it enjoyable.
It's a man cave on Saturday and a she shed on Sunday.
As she should on Sunday. That's where you watch all your shows on Sunday.
Yeah.
That's all right. Nothing wrong with that.
But no, it is. We do have a good setup, and we like it. And now, this ESPN Plus thing, they've had it for a few years, but we actually got it. It's on the Fire Stick,
Mhm.
and we get to watch her team every week.
Oh, there you go.
So we get them on there. So that's been. I've been really enjoying watching them because they're a good little old team. They've lost 2 in a row. I'm a little upset about that.
Wasn't it fun to watch some to change it up, if you will? To get to watch a team that you're not. You have an expectation of the SEC teams. You have an expectation of Southern Cal, all that stuff,
Yeah.
and it's different to watch a team that you're not overly familiar with and just see how they run things.
Well, what's funny? We went. I have a connection to her team, I think, because of her one. But but last year we went to a bowl game,
Mhm.
Montgomery, and she bought tickets for the alumni tent, and we got to go to the alumni tent, and it makes you feel like you're part of it. Although they don't know I'm stupid and wouldn't be able to graduate there, but you feel like you're part of it.
There you go. Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun, and we got to see some people there, and they'd have their son's jersey on. They were playing. There was this ugly woman, pitiful ugly. I mean, she was on pain medication, ugly, and she was awful looking. And she had a son though. It's really really good,
Oh, okay.
and he was a linebacker, 53, I think, and he got drafted.
Oh,
and
wow.
he's playing in the NFL now, and really really fun to watch them kids because when you watch that MAC conference, it's they play so hard because they were looked over. They didn't get to go to Michigan or Alabama or Notre Dame, and they wanted to play so bad, and they were probably in high school probably the best players on the team, and they had a lot of spirit, and they wanted to play, and they
A
got
lot of
left
hope.
out.
Yeah.
And then this little team at Eastern Michigan, well, we want you. and they make them feel wanted, and you play your damn guts out.
Yeah.
You will play you'll tackle. If a coach said, "Look, that car's coming, tackle that goddamn car," you'll do it.
Yeah,
You'll get run over,
Yeah.
but you'll damn sure try to do it.
Yeah.
And they play really hard. They play at a different level.
Mm-hmm.
And if he weighed 40 more pounds and could run a 40 2/10 of a second faster, that son of a bitch would be playing in the NFL.
Right.
But he's got the guts. I mean, he's got guts just running out of him.
Well, I think some people say that about a lot of the UAB players. Same concept.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They're just shy of making it to a bigger team or something like that, and they've had some good guys come through there. And
well, that little running back they got, I don't know if it's Cedric Brown. I don't think Cedric's right, but he played at Mortimer Jordan, and he had a chance to go to some bigger schools.
Mm-hmm.
Like Ole Miss. I don't think Alabama and Auburn was really on him. Probably should have been. He's a great running back, and he played at Mortimer Jordan, and Benjamin played against him.
Mm-hmm.
And actually tackled him on a one-on-one tackle on a kickoff. And I told him, I said, you need to keep that the rest of your life. Because he's playing in the NFL, you can tell people, I busted his ass in high school.
Right.
Because a lot of people can't say they did.
Yeah.
But he's a great little player, and he's breaking records at UAB. I think he's the leading rusher in the history of the school.
Wow.
So, and they got some good players, and they play tough, and they got a hell of a coach. It's a shame because he's probably not going to be there long.
Why not?
He's just too damn good.
Oh, okay.
And UAB, you get a Southeastern Conference team, Mississippi State, they're talking about their coach maybe going to Rutgers because he's not doing well. Mississippi State comes calling, well, they can throw $4 or $5 million at you.
Yeah, it's hard to stand.
UAB's paying him $1.25 million, $1.2 million, and that's good money. Me and you'd love that. I'd dig a ditch with a damn spoon for $1 million.
Oh, yeah.
But you throw a $4 million price tag at somebody, and you get to play in the SEC, and you're in a conference and can play for a national championship. That's a different story.
Yeah, you've reached another level.
Yeah, because UAB will never get to the national championship game. If they went undefeated for 6 years straight, they'll never get a shot because they're not in the Power 5.
Mm-hmm.
See, they'll never get a shot. So if you're coaching, don't you want that national championship?
Yeah, I mean, your honor and love and commitment to a team can only go so far.
Yeah, because when you got in this business, coaching junior high, and then you got that job in high school, your goal is to get to the ultimate prize.
Mm-hmm.
And then even if you can move out of college into pro NFL,
a lot of them, yeah,
that's even better.
Because some of them guys can work 4 years and make more money than they would have ever made.
Yeah,
somewhere else.
Nick Saban's grandkids won't never be without something to do.
Oh yeah,
they'll always have food.
Yeah, they'll always have something.
And and you just got, and I'm sure he's put his money away and he's invested well because he's driving a damn Mercedes. He said he owns a company, some Mercedes.
Yeah, he owns half the Mercedes dealership in Hoover.
Yeah,
and so he's doing fine.
If he writes you a check, you won't have to hold it to Friday.
Absolutely.
You can go ahead and cash it.
You can go ahead. You can run to the bank and hit that thing. So.
But yeah, I've enjoyed coming in here.
Man, I appreciate you coming in. I
hope I didn't talk too much.
No, I like it because I always feel like I learn more about football after listening to you. Because there's a difference. I don't watch it nowhere near what you watch it. And a lot of guys that watch it, they watch it, but I don't think they watch it. You know what I'm saying?
They don't. And I remember one night me and Laura was watching an NFL game, and this was years ago. And I said, the pocket is just collapsing. The pass pocket is just collapsing. She said, wait a damn minute. She said, I've heard that all my life. What the hell does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, if you watch, I'll illustrate it to you. Like you got the center, a guard, and 2 tackles.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's your front line. Not counting, tight end or whatever. Well, what they do, you got the quarterback right here. What they do, if you notice when they line up, they'll line up a little bit staggered.
Mm-hmm.
They'll line up like that. So in their pass blocking, you'll see them come up in their pass blocking. What they do is they drop back like this, and they've created a pocket.
Yeah, give him space.
And that's his pocket. And their job is to not let anybody inside that pocket, force them outside, make them come in from the back. Those balls gone, by
Mm-hmm.
then. And I showed it to her. She said it does look like a pocket. And
you learned something, yeah.
And the reason they did that when they come up with that concept back in the 50s, Coach Brown come up with that with the Cleveland Browns, but he it looks like a shirt pocket,
Yeah, makes sense.
and that's why they call it that.
Huh.
You know, you
Yeah.
and it's like that, and you know, he came up with that concept, and it's still to this day they use it, and you got to have that, you
Yeah.
know, and what you hope happens in that pocket when you create that pocket, you're hoping the damn linebacker leaves, you know, that maybe he sees something over here in the flats, you got a receiver open, and if he leaves, then that damn quarterback can take off running.
Yeah, because that's the last line.
Yeah, 'cause he's watching that. You know, he's watching that linebacker. And a lot of times they'll put that linebacker as a spy, and they'll tell you, they said, look, you're in charge of that quarterback. If he goes and takes a shit, you wipe his ass. That's what we want you to do. And you'll see that a lot. You'll see if he's spying him, because if the quarterback drops back, he's not moved. If he's moved to one side, that linebacker will float with him. You know, and that's his job. So, yeah, she's learned a lot. Just me showing her
Yeah,
stuff.
man. I feel like I learn every time.
Well, it's been fun, brother.
Man, it has been fun.
And you and your little wife's got to come out. We got to have some drinks at the house.
We need to.
I hated that she couldn't be here tonight. I went over there and picked up some beer today. And
Yeah.
she told me that she couldn't be here. I hate that, but I'm gonna go to the little boy's room.
All right. Well, listen. Let me kill this thing out of here, and we'll and again, it was great having you on, Tim. You know, come back anytime. We'll get you in now that maybe your schedule gets a little bit better.
I think it's going to be better.
All
I've
right.
enjoyed it, and I appreciate my wife talking as much as she did.
That's right. Well, all right. We're gonna leave out with Amber doing a little bit of commercial.
All right. Are we
All
good?
right. Well.
Up for a wild trip.
Oh my God.
This is the Furlough Podcast, brought to you by All American Ford in Aniana, Alabama. Stop by and see John Makovica and his team today.